I'm realizing
Yeah.
I have to do something different.
Yeah. No, and that most people get to that point. I totally understand. And
It's
that's
just
what I love helping people
the
do.
question is, do I have enough to invest? Because okay, uh, I work in corporate. They give me this 20, 30,000 a year stocks.
Hmm.
That's which I can sell and do something. But this looks like it's a slow. Yeah.
Even real estate's slow.
Yes, I know it's slow.
Yeah, it's not get rich quick, and it's
No,
not get
it's not.
passive income quick.
No.
You know, if you're running an operation, it's a little different story. But you're not. You have another full time job. So now, what's the easiest? You know, it could be a combination of a couple different things. Flipping can get you cash,
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
but you still, if you get, depending on what the flip is, it's going to take you 30 to 60, maybe 90 days to get it. And what's the market you're going to do in between? That's what's so scary. Every flip I've ever done, I have a projection of what it should be making. I've never made that projection, ever. I never lost money, but it was never what I thought it was going to be. And to me, it just wasn't. I mean, when we do our numbers here, you know, if it's a $100,000 house, you know, they might be making 20,000, maybe 15. If they're in Phoenix, they're probably making 12, and it's not worth it. You know, you want to make 20%, but sometimes you don't. Even on a $400,000 house, you know, that's what.
See.
You know, it just doesn't work. That's supposedly 40 grand, but then you run into this problem and that problem, and then all of a sudden you're down to $20,000, and you worked your ass off for the last 3 months, and that's not you doing it. That's you paying somebody to do it that you have to trust to do.
Yes.
You know, and you can't be on site to manage. So
No.
now you're going after work, overseeing what they did, not for sure what they did, unless you know construction inside and out. What to look for?
I have my friend. That's why.
Yeah, but how often is he going to want to show up? How much are you going to have to pay him? Even though he's a friend, he's going to get tired of going to that job
Yes,
site.
of course.
You know, it's just, that's just, I'm sorry, I'm very passionate, and I don't like flips. You know, I know guys that have made a lot of money on them, but I also know people have lost a lot of money on them.
Yeah, it's.
They tried to time the market, and the market went south on them. Even though our government is changing, we don't know what the market's going to do.
No,
we have no freaking clue. You know, and you can go buy a nice flip, and all of a sudden the market turns and goes down, or interest rates go up. What happens if interest rates go up again? Now, who's your buyer?
Oops.
Yeah. So I personally don't like flips. And it's a job. I don't want a job. I want the passive income.
I'm trying just to find a way. I see this.
Yeah. You know, to me, I wouldn't buy rentals. I would buy lease option, but you don't need money to do that.
You don't need money to do that.
No. So I don't use any of my own money.
Yeah, but you have a name. You have experience. You have.
It all comes. I mean,
yeah.
You know, it all comes
I
around.
know.
Ben Ferguson.
Oh, one of my private money guys, an investor. Let's see what he has to say here. Hey, you're on speakerphone. I'm sitting here with a guest, so you're on speakerphone, dude. What's up?
Not much. I was just calling. I had a question, so I had this weird situation come up.
Okay.
I kind of had to talk to you about it.
Okay.
So my cousin, she was like wanting to get into real estate, yada yada, and then she bought a house, and she just bought like a conventional, I don't know, one in Atlanta. I kind of was like talking to her about it and everything, and then she was just gonna do a traditional rental on it, but now she wants to do like a lease option.
Yep.
And so then she offered, she said that she would let me be half owner in it with her if I would take care of everything and just like run it for her.
Okay.
Just like equity owner. And so then I was like, all right, that sounds good with me. so then I've been trying to lease it out, and I can't get anybody on the hook for it.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. I've got a lot of people interested in it. I just feel like I'm maybe not saying the right things on how to advertise it. Maybe I don't know.
Yep. Gotcha.
What do you think?
I would have to see what your marketing looks like. Can you send me some screenshots of what you have up and where you have it up at?
Yeah.
And then let me look at that. Give me the address. Obviously, that should be on there. Let me look at that, and then let me take it to my dispo team because they're the ones who's been doing most of the pre-marketing and so forth. Let me see what they have to say about it, and let me circle back around with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Yeah, send it over to me, and I look at it. I'm in a meeting most of the day today, but I didn't look at it later on tonight or in the morning. I'll have him look at it.
Awesome. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
So this is a guy. His mom and dad are one of my private money investors. He wanted to start doing what I'm doing, and so he bought some. I helped him buy some property in Georgia.
Okay.
And then you just heard this conversation.
Trying to
So he's trying to help a cousin out. So it just starts to snowball, one thing after another. But it depends on what you want to do. Now he works a full-time job also.
okay.
He's in construction. He does high-end windows and doors installs on $1 million+ home plus.
Okay.
So that's what he does. But he's wanting to slowly build up his own portfolio and that kind of thing. And he keeps looking, and it's the house he bought. He ended up bringing private money in to buy it, and it's rented out. And now obviously his cousin's doing something, so I'll help him. He's not even really a student of mine. He's a guy that came in. I said yes, I'll help you, before I ever started teaching anything.
I see.
So, and you see, I'm sorry, I'm sitting here with a meeting,
Yep.
but this sometimes helps you see what goes
Yeah, I
on too.
understand, like,
And so this is just me. If I'm in a meeting and it's somebody like that, I'll answer the phone because I knew he's going to have a question about what we do.
Yep.
You learn from it.
Yes. No, I'm just trying to think like, what's the better way for me to get involved?
How much cash do you have to invest?
I mean, I have people who owe me money, but I don't think it's gonna happen quick. They owe me 20,000, and I have 30. That's why it's 30 is, and it doesn't seem like much. And
No, it's a start.
That's a start. And I had HELOC, but HELOC is not for that. HELOC is for flip. If like say just
Gotcha. Yep.
that's
In and out.
yeah, in and out, because it's right now 9%.
Right.
Yeah, it's doesn't make any sense to put
No.
it in lease option.
No, not unless you did like that deal there where you're getting 1%. And then you're getting 1% a month, and you're paying 9 annual. This is 12, so you're making a little bit on the what they call arbitrage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and also HELOC, I didn't realize there are different multiple types. I called 6 companies.
Mhm.
Apparently, they just do simple interest, but PNC actually does amortization 30 years. That's why.
They will. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's why it looks like you're paying principal in interest, but because it's amortized over 30 years, it's actually less.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I found out later.
Yeah.
After I took already another HELOC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I told you up there at Augie's deal. So the other thing we do is if you've got friends or family that want to invest.
yes.
So what we do there is I pay 5% to you as a finder's fee. So for example, if they bring me $100,000, I pay you $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot, but it's just you're just setting us up and moving forward. So that's another way to make some extra cash.
I see.
With $30,000, it's not going to get you a lot, whether you're even buying a house or whether you're
Yes.
start private money.
Yeah. That's
But just like Brett did, he started out with 20, 30,000, and he just keeps building it up and building it up and building
that's
it
what
up.
I'm thinking now.
Yeah, it's slow, and no different than if you're buying houses. It's slow. I'll give you an idea. In 2023, I bought more houses than I did in 21 and 22 combined.
Because nobody was buying.
Nobody's buying. In 24, I bought 5 houses so far this year. That's all that would work in my portfolio. I'm very conservative when I buy houses. I can only buy 5. One of my other guys bought 1. So total, we've only bought 6 houses as a company this entire year.
I see. Not quick.
No, not quick at all. So no different than with private money. It's slow. And sometimes things will go crazy. We're working run right now. We've worked for 2 months now that I want. It's in Kokomo, Indiana, because I already own in Kokomo. And I'd love to add more in the same city because it makes it easier. And it's going to be a wrap scenario. The guy is in foreclosure. We'll work with his attorneys and his foreclosure attorney trying to get things straightened out so that we can take over the note and wrap it and so forth. And it's just, we're having a heck of a time even getting access to the property. Because the guy doesn't have money somebody rekeyed it. he can't even get it rekeyed so we can get in the house for $100.
Oh,
So he's that down and out right now.
I see.
So you just never know.
I mean, I have, because in engineering there is a lot of people with a lot of stocks and different companies, my classmates, and I know they have a lot, more than 100.
Yeah.
They can invest.
Yeah.
If you talk to people, the question is the trust, you know, because they're not gonna jump on anything. Just let's jump.
Right.
Yeah, that's why. From that perspective, that's why I was thinking to show that okay, this is what I do, and if you guys want to invest, you can come here.
Yep.
Because they're asking me, oh, you like getting into real estate? What did you learn?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It does come down to a lot of trust. It comes down to making sure you have an operation like we have here, because there's not many of us around doing what we do.
Yeah.
And owning, in 15 states, a lot of people don't have that, and that's the security that somebody has when they start investing with us. Makes a big difference. So.
How did you choose those states?
Landlord friendly.
Okay.
They have to be landlord friendly, and that's why we're only in 15.
Even though you're not landlord.
Yep. No, because what happens with the lease with an option to purchase, what happens is if they quit making payments for whatever reason, even though they lose that big option fee, then they become a true tenant because you use 2 documents, and then you just evict them just like you would a regular tenant. So you go to landlord friendly state, so you just evict them as a tenant because they haven't exercised their option yet. So, yep. Doesn't happen very often, but I think we've got 2 or 3 evictions going right now, which is very unusual. We usually don't have any going, but we do have a couple of them going right now.
And now your students, whether we worked this last 6 months, you said one of them executed where they buy properties. It doesn't. It's like whenever they look at.
For what now?
No, your students.
Oh, my students?
Yeah.
So I teach them to be in landlord-friendly states too.
Okay.
Yeah. So the gentleman I just told you about that I spent an hour and a half with, he's got one under contract in North Carolina. I own in North Carolina.
Okay.
So I try to keep them in those states. I've got another student that they do a lot in Texas, and you can't do lease options in Texas.
You can't?
No. It's a Texas law. So because of that, you can do seller financing. So every deal that we work over there, we have to look at it from a seller finance standpoint.
Okay.
And the last I talked to them not this week but last week, they've got 3 under contract that they're working on to take down as seller finance. But they've got a group of 7 or 8 people that are working for them.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So it's an operation.
Yeah.
It's not a one-man show scenario.
For me, it's different.
Yeah, and that's the whole key so the gentleman that's taking down North Carolina, he's a one-man show. And it's just.
He was just looking at MLS.
No, so he's doing cold calls.
Cold call.
Yeah, so he's got he hired a VA, virtual assistant, to do some cold calling. So he supplies them with lists and names and so forth, and then he gets the leads and turns around and calls them. Yeah. But again, that's money going out and a lot of work. But that's his full-time job. He's a one-man show, but it's his full-time job. Yeah, he's working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
It's a part-time, it's like, except note buying.
It's
building slow, kind of.
Yeah, note buying, you can turn around. There's other ways of doing notes too, but you're using other people's money's notes.
Okay.
In that, let's say you got a friend that has $100,000.
Okay.
You bring it to me, I'm going to pay you 5%. Okay. But the other way of doing it is depending on what you can get it from him. Let's say you can pay him 5%. Then you turn around and come to me at 10%, and you're taking that 5% arbitrage in between. That's another way to do notes. Okay. Because not everybody, a lot of people, if you talk to them, they're going to say they're only earning 2 or 3%. And all of a sudden you offer them 5 or 6%. They're going, yeah, I'll take it. Okay. And then all of a sudden you come to me and I'm giving you 8 to 10%. They're going, what? That's unreal.
Yeah.
Nowhere do you get that, and you don't. So it's all perspective. Sitting, if you got money in a savings account, what's it making? 1/4%? 1/10%?
Right now they have 4. That saving accounts with 4%.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
For now, and because of the federal rate.
Right.
But when it drops, it's gonna drop too.
Yeah.
I mean, if it even drops.
Yeah. So I mean that's unusual. Most of the market aren't at 4%.
I mean, if you do go Chase or regular bank, yes, it's like not even quarter, like
Exactly.
0.01.
Right. Yeah.
Something very small.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, with some of my friends, it took me like a couple months to convince them, like, hey, there is a like 4% you can get just if you put in saving account.
Yeah.
They even didn't want to do that because they're very conservative. Like, oh, my money should be here. It's like, why?
What's it making you?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have your money working for you, and I truly believe that. If your money's not working
Yeah,
for you,
it's just
and that's why I don't.
they're from back in my home country, Moldova. In my lifetime, in 90s, we had huge inflation when your money went to shit
Okay.
in like weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbor, he had $1 million, became 1,000.
Wow.
You know, it's all his life savings.
Yeah, gone.
Evaporate. That's for me the way I see it. I don't like to keep money, but some people, for some reason, people back home they don't. It's like, oh, my money should be here because they don't trust banks.
Right.
The trust is so deep.
Yeah. No, I get
But
it.
like it's like, hey, you in US is the you have to change your thinking.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do. So Jason's actually grew up in Greece,
Greece, okay.
and same mentality. They keep the money under their pillows and
Yep.
stuff, and for
Yep.
and that's how he was raised. So it's even hard for him. He's come out of that now,
Okay.
and he's a private money investor,
Yeah.
and he will invest his money into different things. So it's one of those things that it's tough if you're not used to it, and it's a culture.
It is. That's why I'm trying to get them involved, break it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think last week I had one flipper. She does like what, for about 10 years she does flips, and she was looking for gap money.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, she was providing 12%, and I called this group, and nobody said no. And I was like, maybe I am not talking right, because they asked me, have you been investing with her? It's like, no, but I'm gonna invest too. So they said, I'm risking my money too. Basically,
Gotcha.
they said no.
Yeah, flips are.
It's a little bit riskier.
It's riskier.
That's why it's 12%.
Yeah. At the same time, what lean position are you?
Second.
Yeah, you're in second position on a flip. Market crashes. How do you get your money back out? Yeah, that's different. It's totally different than what I do.
Yes, it's
Totally different.
Yours is different.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a gamble. I don't like doing flips.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of people come to me and hey, I need 20, I need 30 for a flip, and I typically won't do it.
You wouldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's just me.
Even though your
I'm a
friends who have a lot of experience.
yeah. I don't. It would have to be a slam dunk deal to do it,
Oh, I see.
and depending on the flipper, how many flips have they done?
Yeah.
Show me your numbers. Show me your HUDs. Who are your contractors?
I see.
Where's the flip at? So I would want to go through and do a full analyzation, and then with all that work for $20,000 or $30,000 investment to get back $1,000 maybe,
Yeah.
is it worth it when I can go here and have these guys and make me that 10 times?
Very.
So that's just me. But there's so many different facets of real estate,
It is a lot.
and it just and just like on the podcast, find your lane, stay in your lane, and rock and roll. And that's what we've done is we stay
That's
in
why
our
I'm trying
lane.
to find my lane because
Yeah.
it's just like for now I have like how you say it, shiny object.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to narrow down.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But figure out what your end goal is going to be. And if it's passive income, then at that point, do a combination between buying up some houses and doing lease option back out, a little bit of private money.
I was thinking to buy a house a year, but apparently in Phoenix, but it's with whatever I have in
Phoenix is hard.
Yeah, it's
The
numbers
last
don't
house
work.
I bought was in 23 because I can't get them to cash flow. They just don't. I was running through the calculator. They don't cash flow because the buy price is too high, rents are too low, and they don't cash flow.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
So, and that's why we do a lot of our stuff back in the Midwest and East Coast because it does. I mean, we're paying, $100,000 for a house.
What's your entrance? Let's say how much money you need to buy a house in Midwest.
We're buying houses for 100 or less, sometimes more.
Oh, because you're paying the whole amount with the private money. Yeah.
Well, just to buy. I mean, sometimes.
Because with DSR you have to put 25%?
No, so that's going to be a refinance.
If you do refinance.
Yeah. So what Augie was talking about the other night? I kind of went up after his presentation, and he was saying you can't get 75% without seasoning for a year.
Okay.
Well, that's conventional.
Yes.
I don't have any seasoning period. I can get 75% right away, but it's DSCR, so it's different.
Okay.
Than what he's doing. His don't cash flow because they don't cash flow. He can't get a DSCR loan.
Yes. He will not be able to do that.
No, it won't work.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about after his presentation. It's like, that's a totally different ballgame that he's doing. He's betting on appreciation.
Yes.
Which is great. That's what he does. I don't do that. If they won't cash flow, I won't buy it, and that's just me.
You're more conservative.
Yeah.
I mean, for I think his strategy is for people who already have money and want to lend them somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to put in multiple.
Yeah.
He's just showing how you can buy instead of one house, you can buy
Right.
5, 10.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's basically what he's.
Yeah, he's pulling money back out and
Yeah.
buying more, and that's perfectly fine. And I do the same thing. We're doing 13 DSCR loans now. And by the time I'm done, I should have somewhere between $200,000 to $250,000.
I see.
And I'll take some of it for me, and I'll put some of it back in the company and go buy more houses.
Yeah. For me, it's just more thinking
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah, you know, a combination. If you wanted to learn what we do, I would say, sign up for our community
Okay.
and get on every Tuesday if you can. If not, they're all recorded.
So net to your community is just through your website?
So you join the community, and then you get a web link, like a Zoom link,
Okay.
at 3 o'clock every Tuesday to join if you can join.
Just
And
hear what people talking about.
Yeah, here, or if you have questions, that kind of stuff. If you want to dig deeper, then buy the course. And right now it's $34.97 online, but it's if you enter in the code, which I can give you the code, it's $9.97, and you get everything, start to finish. That's all the contracts. That's everything you need. And I keep updating it, so it keeps getting more and more stuff put in
For
it.
me, okay, let's say even if I cover the course, I have to spend time looking for property.
Yeah.
That's the main.
Yep.
Has a bottleneck.
It is a bottleneck for what you're trying to do. Yeah.
For me, it's a main bottleneck. The looking
Yeah.
for properties.
Yep.
I have to solve that. You see, like you're talking about North Carolina guy, and he just hired a VA.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, and so like in your position, what you could do is you could do our system, hire a VA, they'll send you leads, and then when you get off work at night,
Cool.
you go home, you call, or depending on the time zone difference, you call first thing in the morning, that kind of stuff. And a lot of people got started that way. I got started with the jewelry business. I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week in the jewelry business and started buying up rentals.
Oh,
And so if I wasn't at the jewelry store, I was at my rentals. And I worked both jobs for multiple years. I started in 93. I didn't leave the jewelry business until 99, 6 years later. So it's not overnight, that's for sure.
yeah, I know it's not. I'm just trying to find a way to build it to that.
Sure.
Cool.
One house at a time, one loan at a time. Yeah. And actually, so Brett, my other private money guy, he is now doing, he's got 2 or 3 houses that he has bought and seller financed them. So he's done that. So I help him in multiple things, and so he's diversifying. But most of the time he's lending the money here because it's no headache to him. It's quick and easy. He gets his 8-10% and
100%.
just keeps collecting it, and which is a good return for him in the long run. And that's built up over the last 3 years. It hasn't happened overnight.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
yeah,
We're looking for overnight.
yeah, exactly.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. You got time for lunch?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Oh,